So when I'm way up north, I have a problem, and that problem is calories. It's hard to eat enough to sustain all that paddling, all that portaging, all that traveling for 12 or even 14 hours a day. You just need to be eating continuously. And most of the food you pack with you gets boring. But after a lot of experimentation and a ton of false starts, I have found the answer. Energy balls. The almost perfect camping food. Let's make some. Step one, you're gonna start with dates, preferably a softer date like a medjool date, and maple syrup. And this is so much easier if you use a food processor. I have done this without a food processor. It's a pain in the butt. First, you need to prepare 450 grams of dates, but the softer dates usually come with the stones inside. So you're gonna have to extract the stones from a whole bunch of dates first. So since starting this video, I've decided to make a double portion. So I'm gonna be giving you the numbers for a single portion, but the quantities that I'm gonna be making are actually gonna be more. Just don't get confused by that. So we're gonna take the dates. We're gonna take those 450 grams of dates. I'm gonna combine it with maple syrup. Please, for the love of God, this is not pancake syrup. This is not maple flavored syrup. This is real maple syrup, either from Canada or from the American Northeast. It's 1 to 2 cups. If you use a little bit less maple syrup, you'll need to use more water later. And now we need to food process this into a fine paste. If you're having difficulty blending this, then you should add a little bit more water. This is roughly the texture that you want. Kind of like a not very thick honey. Next, we're gonna add 900 grams of almond butter. This is almonds ground up with nothing else in it. I suppose you could use peanut butter, but then you'd run the risk of me never talking to you ever again. You want to use 900 grams of almond butter. For me, with a double portion, I'm going to be using 1800 grams. This gets pretty expensive, but it's so worth it. Next, 400 grams of rolled oats. Not quick oats, not any other kind of oats, rolled oats. So for you, 400 grams. For me, 800 grams. See, remember all those times that you said, I'm never going to need to know this stuff in math class? Math is useful. 200 grams almond or hazelnut flour. 100 grams finely shredded, unsweetened coconut. 2 cups of chocolate chips. The smaller the better, I find. Keeps the balls together. So I would probably buy 3 cups of chocolate chips, because a lot of them are going to get eaten. Now I just need to mix it up till it makes a dough. This is the stage where I'm going to add more water to it if it's not liquid enough to hold together. Next, I'm going to take a baking tray and cover it with sesame seeds. Then I'm going to take bits of dough here, make them the size of, I don't know, a golf ball or a little bit larger than a golf ball. Roll them into a round circle. Roll them in the sesame seeds so they're not as sticky. And then put them aside. Well, that is a lot of calories. In fact, we can figure out exactly how many calories it is. One of these balls is about 100 grams. Now, if it was dry weight 100 grams, that might be about 500 or 600 calories given the mix of carbohydrates and fat. But there's some wet weight in here, so we'll go with an even 400 calories per ball. That's pretty good. And there you go, 2 Ziplocs for storage. They last pretty well unless it gets really hot. And when you're tripping in a canoe anyway, usually the area around the water isn't that hot. So they last very well on a trip. Just to make sure that they stay in peak taste, I'm going to put them in a freezer until it's time to go north. They're going to sit there for another month, and then it's trip time.